So we have our 48-hour Lisbon card, which will get us discounts and even free admission into various museums and sites, as well as transportation, so subways, buses, trams, and right now we're going to be waiting for a train that will take us to Belém. The 15A LRT took us from Commerce Square to Jeronimos Monastery in about half an hour. Already there was a sizable line to get into the monastery and church, but we would get there shortly. First, we needed to visit another famous attraction, the birthplace of the famous Portuguese custard tart, and the only place where you can call them pastéis de Belém. Others call them pastéis de nata. This bakery near Jeronimos Monastery has been around since 1837. It was originally a sugarcane refining operation, but when all convents and monasteries in Portugal were closed in 1834, following a revolution, the expelled clergy were able to survive by setting up a bakery next to the sugar plant, and they created these beautiful pastries. The rest is delicious history. Today, long lines form outside the shop. Usually it's faster to go inside and be served at a table, but when we arrived, both lines were long, so we decided to go for the takeout line, grab our treats, and enjoy them while we waited in the even longer line at Jeronimos Monastery. Though this queue was long, it moved fairly quickly, though it did take us about a half an hour to get inside. Folks, it's worth the wait. So the pastéis de Belém place was packed, so we got ours to go. Lori's just dressing up my lovely, lovely tart. The coffee was good.
How does it compare to the one at the end of the street?
So I'm comparing this to the one at the Mantegaria, which is just around the corner from where we're staying. The flakiness of the crust, heavenly. And the custard, it's a little more dense, not quite as creamy as the Mantegaria one. But it's so good. I'm glad I bought two. Our Lisbon cards gave us free access to the cloister and the church, which are open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., except on Mondays, January 1st, Easter Sunday, May 1st, and December 25th, when the monastery is closed. You can purchase tickets until 5 o'clock, and entry is open until 5:30. I recommend you get there early. The monastery was built in the early 1500s near the launch point of Vasco da Gama's first journey, and its construction was funded by a tax on the profits of Portuguese armadas. The jewel of the monastery is its two-storied cloisters. The detail in the stonework is the best you'll ever see and gives a nod to its nautical ties. The Igreja de Santa Maria is equally impressive with its Gothic architecture and massive size. You must exit the cloisters and go back outside where you queue up to get into the church. This time, the line was shortened much faster. Note that you must dress appropriately, no shorts or sleeveless tops, and don't forget to remove your hat. Da Gama is actually entombed in a nave of the church, along with the revered poet Luís de Camões. So highly respected were these Portuguese explorers and poets that their tombs are laid close to the tombs of Kings Manuel I, who ordered the construction of the monastery, and John III, who succeeded Manuel. The Museu de Marinha, which is on the western end of the monastery, is a separate entrance again, but there were no lines. The Lisbon card is not accepted here, but the €7 admission is worth it. From the Naval Museum, we walked 15 minutes to another museum, the National Coach Museum, where we saw their grand display of royal coaches from the 16th to 19th century, as well as coaches for mail, other deliveries, and as well as so-called hot rods for the wealthy elites. Admission is €8 or free with the Lisbon card. The museum is open from 8 till 6 every day except Mondays and holidays, when it's closed. After having our fill with monasteries, churches, and museums, it was time to spend some time outdoors. We caught a bus to what I think is the jewel of Belém, its medieval tower, the last landmark that sailors saw before they set out to explore the world. The Lisbon card would have got us in for free, but we arrived only minutes after they let the last visitors in. The tower is open from 9:30 to 6, with the last entry at 5:30. We also wanted to visit the Monument of Discoveries and didn't want to be late to get in, so we raced over and made it to the top in time. It was open from 10 to 7, with the last entry at 6:30. We got there with a few minutes to spare. The wuthering heights of the monument make for a spectacular view of Belém and the Tagus River. It commemorates Henry the Navigator and all of the famous Portuguese sailors, including Vasco da Gama. With the sun sinking low, we returned to Belém Tower for one last look, ending our day in this historic neighborhood. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. From Belém, this is the Brown Noser. See you next time.